You're listening to the Practical Wealth Show with Curtis May, putting you in the driver's seat to control your finances. Let's start the Practical Wealth Talk about alternatives to Wall Street.
Today, we're going to do a quick case study. One of my insurance clients texts me, hey, listen, the market's going down. What should I invest in? And so, if you ask me a question, 5 more questions firing back, because 15, 20 years ago, I still thought mutual funds were the end all be all. And I always said, well, let's get together. I can set you up with, $50, $100 a month, dollar cost average into a great crowd growth mutual fund, blah, blah, blah. Rule 7-2, your money will be worth this, and complete BS. Okay. Because that doesn't, can't accumulate your way to wealth. So of course, that's against a grain of everything that you hear about. I called her back, says, well, I want to do such and such, but I'm really in debt. And so we had a brief discussion this call was less than 7 minutes, right? So see if the podcast will be longer. So it's interesting observations, and I think this is typical. So I bought a house. I, had to do some repairs. Okay. So no money. So had to put it on a Home Depot card or Lowe's, what are those things, right? And of course, houses don't come furnished. So everybody feels they must, furnish everything, right away. And people look at what their parents' house, or if they move out when you get your first time house, and you want what took them 10, 20 years to accumulate, you want it in the first 6 months. You want a leather couch, you want a flat screen, you want all this stuff. And of course, you don't have any money. So what do you have to do? You've got to go into debt, right? And so if you don't have any assets, if you don't have any money, when you go into debt to pay for, as Rich Dad calls, doodads or stuff, you're using future earnings as collateral. Understand that. So if you've got a $200 a month payment, or I've got another guy I'm going to get a car. So now he's got a new car, he's got new insurance, and there's a saying called Parkinsons Law. And it says that expenses rise to meet income. So I got another, not to mix the stories up, another young client had $1,000 a month coming in extra. I'm like, all right, look, let's save $500 of this, and you can do some other stuff with. No, he goes, buys a car. He wants a new apartment. He was a mentor of mine, Don Blatt, says he's a chick magnet. Okay. And so he's got a car. He's got his insurance is higher, rent. And now, by my calculations, he don't have any money left. Or I don't know if he has the money yet to set up to do the $500 a month savings plan I set up for him. So hope you're listening to this. All right. And we need to go over your numbers. Anyway, so I'm back. And so now what happens is we're looking at, because, one of the things that you got to figure out is, so she's telling me about this. I've got this debt and I've got more money. This person probably makes 50, 60 grand a year. Okay. And I've got maybe even 45, but I think it's around 50 or so. And start telling me about some expenses, tuition, this, kids' activity, yada, yada. Okay, so what happens if you bring home $3,000 a month and your bills are $3,800 a month, that $800 a month, where does that come from? That you have a deficit. This is just like the country, right? You got an $800 a month deficit. So what happens is we finance those on credit cards, right? And so, but eventually now you've got to pay for the use of Visa's money. And then you've got to pay the interest on the use of Visa's money. And what that is doing is that is cutting into your current lifestyle money, because you've now created a new expense, liability, which the payment is an expense that now you've got every paycheck, you've got a certain amount of money committed to decisions you made in the past. Okay, so understand that pattern. All right. And so now we go over, I said, well, listen, how do you manage cash flow? I can't manage cash flow. I don't have any money. I spend more than I make. So the answer is no, I don't track my cash flow. And so I always tell people, well, if you're running a business, how can you run a business? Because personal economy is running a business. Your economics just means house manager from the Greek word, and I always butcher the pronunciation, but economos, which just means house manager. You've got money, precious resources coming in, and or limited resources coming in, and you've got to make that work. So you've got production or income, and you've got consumption. So you've got to manage that to make sure that you can A, pay yourself first, save money, and B, feed yourself, pay for, keep a roof over your head, and all that kind of stuff. So you have to manage that. And but see, here's the thing. Most people think, well, I got to work harder. I got to go back to school. And I'm going to tell you, you need to stop. See, first thing you got to do is you got to figure out where you are. So you have to look at and let me know if you need help with this. This is what we do. But you've got to look at what's the state of the union of your personal economy. So step one, where are you now? Get a spreadsheet. Let me know. We'll send you one where you can look at where you are now. Here's what I make bi-weekly, monthly. If you're an entrepreneur, it fluctuates. Here is what I spent. Here's my take-home pay. And here are my assets, such as they are my 401k, my, whatever I own, and here are my liabilities. See, that's where you are. So you need to know your starting point. You also, before you panic, because people say, oh, I got to pay this off. I got to, save $1,000 and I'm going to commit all my money to debt. Well, you didn't get into debt overnight. So you're not going to get out of it overnight. So you need to figure out where you're trying to go, right? So if you're trying to, where are you trying to go? So if we were having this discussion 12, 24 months from now, what would you want your life to look like? What would you want your finances to look like? How much would you like to have saved? See, so you've got to start with that, where you're trying to end, because if you just run around, I'm going to pay off all the debt, only thing you're doing, see, paying off debt does not make you financially independent. All you've done is giving your money away. Okay. Yes, you cut down the interest cost, but okay, you don't have any money. Okay. Therefore, the next emergency that you have, since you give away all your damn money, you got to do what? Go back into debt or borrow money, and you're right back out. So you've got to stop. You got to play the long game. Okay. And you've got to stop making, reacting to, and have it, stop running plays, stop reacting to stuff, and take control of your personal economy and lead your wealth. So that's the first thing. So you got to quiet your mind. You got to think. Sometimes you need an accountability partner to help you think that. See, prosperity economics is really taking a holistic view. So if you download our book from Kim's Butler, Financial Planning Has Failed, most of that accumulation, buy term investor difference, max out your 401k, that won't get it done for you in this economy once you really understand how stuff works. So now we take you back to her story. So I said, all right, listen, what I do is I help people find money they're losing unknowingly and unnecessarily. Let me ask you a couple questions. So do you get a tax refund? Yes. Well, and so now, what most people do? She's getting a refund, $6,000 or $7,000. So I already know that, according to IRS, the 80% of 2005 report, 80% of most Americans have their W-4, the thing that tells your employer how much you owe from your taxes, filled out incorrectly. I talked to another guy, and he's owing every year. That means your W-4 is filled out incorrectly. You don't want to owe, but you don't want a refund either. Not at least not a big one. And so this person is saying that, listen, I don't have enough money during the course of the month, but I'm getting back let's just say it's $6,000. I think it's probably like $7,000, but let's say $6,000 refund. So that is, what is that? $500 a month right there. Probably had overdraft fees and other stuff. But, you have to see, I tell people, look, I ask people, if I find it, will you save it? Because Parkinson's Law, expenses rise to meet income. As you make more money within 3 to 6 months, nature doesn't like a vacuum. You'll figure out how to spend that. So when people pay off a car or something, you need to just roll that money right into your saving strategy while it's still in your budget, because you will find something else to do. I got a client ready to pay off a car. Like, well, I'm going to get another car. No, you don't need another car. Is your car running? Then you need to take that $350 a month and we need to save it. and we'll show you use your banking system to buy your next car if you save aggressively enough. And then now you've eliminated car financing out your life, and you're now beginning to recapture your money. Okay, and that goes back to our banking strategy. But just in general, so now where are you now? Is step one, right? Now you got to isolate your debt. So you got to look at your debt. So list out your debt. List out your balances, right on a sheet of paper, your monthly payment, and your interest rate. What do you send them? What's the minimum payment? And so this goes back to the earlier show that we did, the 10-20-70 rule. So if you're making $4,000 a month, before you pay anybody, let's say bring home you 40%, $400 a month. You got to go to savings. You have to pay yourself first. 20%, $800, you can commit to debt elimination. So you get all your payments down to the minimum, and then you attack one bill at a time, and you begin to knock that off. And then 70% goes to lifestyle. Now, so a lot of people, here's my belief. You're tithing. The tithing comes out of lifestyle. So that comes out of the 70%, because you have to, because what happens is if you can pay yourself first, and I teach kids profits are better than wages. So what's a profit? Water costs $4 a bottle, but $4 a case. You go. I know this guy we play ball with during the summer. He goes out, get some water, he gets some Gatorade or Powerades, and he'll put them in a cooler, throw them out. $2 for Gatorade and $1 for water. Well, just take the water, 24 in a case. You sell each one for $1, you sell out, that's $24. So you've made $24 profit. But where did the $4 come from to get that case? Which was the investment? The investment is getting the case of the juice and the water, okay? But the money came from savings, right? So that's why I teach you got to save from income and invest from assets. So you got to pay yourself first, so you have the ability to create profits that make you more money. So if you can create more money, now your 70% gets bigger, and now your tithe gets bigger. All right. So you have to, wealth has to be created first. All right. And then you can disperse it. Right. And so, so I'm not saying not do it. It's the order. So if you invest in yourself, you can create more abundance, which allows you to be more of a blessing to other people. All right, so let me just throw that one in there. So, now, because I've had this discussion with other people, when should I do it? Oh, I got to pay it for. Well, that's up to you. It's your money. I'm just your guy. It's your money. You're grown. So now I said, all right. Well, so as soon as she said that, boom. All right, I already know I can help her. All right, and because I know her W-4 is filled out wrong, so the first strategy that we teach is out of something that we call it the 369 transformation, is step one, flip your cash flow, right? So that means you got to look at easy things. See, most people give most of your money away. So if you look at wealth transfers, because there's more opportunity in minimizing the losses in your life than there is to try to pick winning investments. So you got to look for the transfers. So if you're overpaying the government, that's a transfer. So get that money back, save it, and use that to attack your debt. So if you've got 20, 30, 35 cents going to non-preferred debt, credit cards first. So there's an order in which you do this also. So I would not double up on my car payment right away, or I would not double up on my student loan payments right away. Because if you pay extra, or definitely not your mortgage, right? Because if you pay extra on that, does it help your cash flow at all? No. So I would pay lines of credit that when you pay them down, the rate goes down. Not the rate, the payment goes down. Your credit cards, your payment goes down. So what does that do? Frees up cash flow for you to attack. So there's an order in which you do this. Just don't get, I got to, people want to refinance their house. They want to pay this off, or they want to, you've already given up $7,000. So now here's what people do. So you get a big tax refund. So you deprive yourself of the use of the money, not to mention the opportunity cost, what the money could have been working for you during that year. Then, as soon as you get it, you give it away. Well, how are you going to get ahead doing that? Okay. And because you get this big windfall. So if you run up debt, you pay off the debt, you go buy yourself something nice, some depreciating asset, and boom, you're right back where you started out from. And you're on a treadmill. The dollar's getting buys less and less, and you're on a road to know, and you're putting all your money in the stock market where it's going up or down. And so that is a middle income strategy towards failure. Okay. Rich people do not do that. So remember, we talked about thinking. What do you want to be? Well, success leaves clues, right? So, what we're going to do is we're going to look, I'm sure, how money works, which is what we do. All right. And I'm putting the show notes. I have a report on this called Dial, on debt. And then we're going to do a debt campaign, because if you get the 4 pillars of a strong personal economy, one of the things that we do, the first thing that we do with the banking strategy that we teach is using permanent insurance is to, freedom from debt to others. So if that's an issue, the first thing that we're going to attack as we structure that is to, one, help you build cash for emergencies and for opportunities, and simultaneously eliminate your debt or recapture that debt. If you're going to be in debt, you might as well owe it to your banking system, right? And so that's a more advanced strategy. But here's the thing. So where are you now? Let's find money you're losing. What are the top 5 wealth transfers? How you pay your mortgage, taxes, how you fund your retirement plan, how you pay for how you pay for kids' education, and how you pay for major capital purchases, things like lifestyle expenses like vacations, cars. I asked her, so listen, what if I could show you a way to pay off the debt, but at the end of the day, have recaptured all of that money? So now you're out of debt, but you still have your money back in your account. Would that be interesting conversation if I could show you how to do that? Would that something you want to hear more about? Yes. Well, now you have an appointment tomorrow. So just in 5 minutes, I see. And so now if I took a deep dive into where the rest of her money's going, I'm sure I'll pick up another $100, $200 as I look at where her money's going. And so that's the thing. You've got to recognize, identify, and eliminate, or at least reduce transfers. Transfers are like money leaks. You just have money coming in, but you've got leaks, fees, overpaying for insurances, taxes that you're overpaying, not understanding the code, not taking advantage of income shifting by having some type of home-based business, network marketing, drop shipping. I don't care. You need a business out your house. That is not an optional thing. Don't tell me how I can't sell. I'm not trying to hear that. You can learn that stuff, but it's not really about that. But you need to do that. I mean, Sandy Bachman has a great book called Lower Your Taxes Big Time. First chapter of the book says, if you don't have a home-based business, you are brain dead. Chapter 1, look it up. And so, that is, once you understand our tax code, you understand what the Trump tax code did. It could be a great thing if you're in business, or if you have a business. I don't mean in business, but even, I don't care if you're in Mary Kay, okay, Avon, what doesn't matter, Legal Shield. You've got to be able to keep good records, which is, we're going to do a show on that. And then you need to be able to use that to offset your earned income, and you'll keep more money in your pocket. So, hey, that's, I want to do a short episode today. So just to recap, figure out where you are right now. Look at your income, look at your expenses, look at your assets, look at your liabilities, figure out where you want to go. All right. See, everything you do should take you closer to the outcome that you want to achieve. So if you're, you want to retire, which we don't believe in retirement, but if you want to be financially independent, meaning you have passive income, then you've got to look for things that generate cash flow. Okay. Most of the investment world is going to teach you to buy stuff and hope it goes up. Well, that is risky. All right. So you're not focused on cash flow. See, so what happens is, if you know what you're trying to do, and once you understand how money works, you will limit who you listen to. You'll have a money strategy, and you'll know what will help you. You are your best financial advisor, because products don't win for you. Folks, you need to have a philosophy about how you're going to grow your personal economy And so check out the 7 Principles of Prosperity. That will give you one. There's nothing new under sun. Richest Man in Babylon, my favorite book. If you don't have it, let me know. I'll send you a copy. So you can email me at kurtmay@gmail.com, or you can download our ebook in the show notes. And I'll put you on our list, and then just correspond with me as you get the emails. Make sure you check your spam if you don't see the book come. And let's talk. All right. So you guys have a great week. And we hope to do little case studies like this more often. So please send me in your questions and make it a great day. Curtis is out.
Thanks for listening to Practical Wealth. To access the show notes and resources, go to practicalwealthshow.com. To get your questions on the show, go to practicalwealthshow.com. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Before you make any investment decisions, consult a professional. This show is copyrighted by Practical Wealth. Written permission must be granted before syndication or rebroadcasting.